Yo! Hey!
Bad start.
Oh, we are the Commercial Boys. I'm a commercial boy, Dan Feingold.
I am a commercial boy, Jacob Aaron Berkowitz.
My middle name is Moshe, if anyone was wondering.
Yeah, no, don't let anyone know that. You didn't have to let anyone know that. This is a bad name.
No! Don't, guys! Don't tell anyone that I said my middle name.
I'm actually really upset that you just said that, because one of my favorite things to do is to tell people that your middle name is Moishi, and now you've robbed me of the ability to tell
at
everyone
graduation, that is how they said my middle name.
Did they say it Moishi?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so happy.
Or Moshi or something like that.
Moishi.
My middle name is Moshe, everyone. It's spelled Moshe. And on the way graduation was set up for SUNY New Paltz, where I recently graduated, was I give them a slip of paper that says my name on it, they read it, I walk up onto the stage. So I gave the man my piece of paper, he looked at it, he had a confused look on his face. He said, "How do you pronounce this?" pointing to my middle name. I said, "Have fun with it."
That's not what he wanted to hear. He wanted you to give him an answer.
He did not want to hear that. He looked very scared when that's what I told him.
He's like, this fucking asshole just made my job hard. Yeah. It was not supposed to be this way.
So he went with Moishi, which was
the preferred pronunciation.
An admirable attempt, for sure.
Anyone in the know calls him Moishi.
Anyone in the know. I was actually called Danny Moe when I was a kid.
Danny Moe? Who called you Danny Moe?
People.
Who? Name one. It sounds like you wanted to be called Danny Moe and are trying right now in vain to get it started.
I was not old enough to want anything, and I currently want nothing less than to be called Danny Moe.
Such a bad name. I'm sorry.
Alright, Jake, what's the point of this podcast?
To roast your name.
Okay, this is, I guess I'll fucking do it. This is a commercial review podcast.
Which is worse than to roast your name.
No, you're right. A name roasting podcast would probably have broader appeal.
More use.
So this episode, a couple of episodes ago, well, I guess for the last couple of episodes, we've been asking you all to send in bizarre commercials that you find.
I just want to jump in real quick. If somehow we ever blow up and like people listen to our episodes like in a backlog session, we should point out right now that for all of you listening is 4 people. At this time, 4 people are listening.
Right, yeah. There are 4 people subscribed to YouTube. I suspect that 2 of them are like courtesy subscribes, because like they're like, these boys are trying, I'll subscribe, and haven't actually listened to a single episode. So in terms of people who, I would guess 2. I would guess 2 people send me emails, and we put the message where our email address is.
I want it to be said also
at the end of the episode, so I'm confident that there are 2 people who listen all the way.
One of those people who should be listening is my girlfriend, and no, that's not true. We have an entire episode curated by her, so never mind. I take it back. I was going to say she hasn't sent anything in, but she sent in an entire episode.
That's true. Yeah.
I was about to try to make my girlfriend feel bad, and I'm a dickling for
it. Yeah, so all of episode 3 was curated by insert name here.
Ashley Lamagna.
Yeah, my favorite person in the world.
Okay, so these... this episode is going to be your commercials that you have emailed to us. I have not yet asked anyone who sent me commercials if they want to be anonymous, so I'm going to do how we do and leave a pause where the first person can insert their name if they so choose to step out of anonymity.
Okay, so this commercial was sent to us by
Zachary Friedman.
If that was silence. They decided to remain anonymous. So it's actually 2 commercials.
Okay.
I'll read the email. They say, "Hi, long-time listener, first-time emailer. Love the podcast, but I feel it could use more low-budget local restaurant commercials.
Mwah.
I linked some below. The first is a commercial for a Chinese restaurant and is very abstract."
Oh, that's perfect. Abstract local Chinese restaurant.
The second one is a commercial for an Indian restaurant in Utah. It tells a story of discovery and open-mindedness.
I am 100% certain that the person who sent this to us is not from Utah, and I'm so curious as to how they found it.
Love the podcast and hope to see more in the future.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
That was
very
sincere.
Very
I like
sweet.
it.
Very sweet message. Best.
Zachary Friedman.
That was silence. They're anonymous. So let's watch a commercial.
Let's do it.
This is the abstract Chinese
food
commercial.
place.
Yeah. So it's on YouTube. It's called China Kitchen Commercial.
What's the upload name?
It's uploaded by
BirdSal88. BirdSal spelled.
I interpreted that birds all.
Oh, interesting.
88 is a number associated with Nazism, is it not?
1488, absolutely.
So
I knew that off the top of my head.
That's scary. We might be watching a Nazi video.
With any luck.
The description is commercial done for local restaurant China Kitchen.
Also, we never did spell it. It's BirdSall88. All right, let's get into it.
Okay, let's get it.
I got a bitch up in China, huh? I like to fuck a vagina.
Okay. You want to walk us through the plot?
So, this past weekend I saw...
This isn't the plot!
This past weekend I saw the movie Hereditary. It's a masterpiece of tone, of horror, of tension, of just evoking a sense of uncertainty and unease for its entire 2-hour running time. I've seen enough horror movies to say that I have like a good foundational understanding of what good horror is.
Okay.
Hereditary was potentially my favorite horror movie, one of the scariest movies I've ever seen, if not the scariest horror movie. This commercial is scarier.
Okay, so
Not
what I
a
asked
plot.
for was the plot.
It's a scary commercial. That's
The plot is ooh. So
it's what is the plot, Dan? You're so confident I did a bad job. You try it. Plot us through.
don't mind if I do. So the plot is there's a table.
There it is. It's shrouded in darkness. The production value on this commercial is actually pretty decent. I think. The lighting budget is excellent.
I don't think they. Yeah, they worked with what they had very well. But here's the plot of the commercial. So it's a table for a Chinese restaurant. You can tell because there's like soy sauce, and you know what there's a red wall in the background.
You know what a
I feel like
Chinese
that's
food restaurant
You know
looks
what
like.
a Chinese restaurant looks like. You can tell by looking at the table immediately. There are like these ceramic pots, and it's zooming in. It's very slow. It's a slow dolly, or is it a zoom?
I think it's a zoom.
Yeah, it's a zoom. They don't have money for a dolly.
Dolly, and dollies are expensive. I don't blame them.
Yeah. So it's a slow zoom, and every once in a while,
I think they
it'll
count.
cut away.
I think they're counting.
That's
in
what I
Chinese.
think. Yeah. I know what counting in Japanese sounds like.
Same.
It sounded
Similar to that.
So I'm assuming they're counting in Chinese. I don't know.
There's a count up from 1, I think, to like 10, and every time they shout a number, you get, as we're zooming in with this like eerie music, a cut
It's like
to some
ambient,
Chinese food.
like horror tones,
White
sort of
noise
like
kind
low
of, yeah.
rumbles that make you feel uneasy, and it cuts to a Chinese person yelling, and then a shot of some food shows up on the screen.
Ostensibly food that you could purchase at this Chinese restaurant.
You would assume, and then it continues to zoom in, and one thing that, but I think when it zooms and cuts back, it might pick up where it left off in regards to the zoom. Like, doesn't it look a little bit weird?
It does. I mean, the commercial...
Like, it seems like it's stopping and starting
Oh, I forgot
every
about
time
that.
it cuts.
The commercial seems designed to create a sense of unease.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
they do a lot of weird, undiscernible things to enhance that sense
There's
of
the
unease.
music, yeah.
By the end, the frame is shaking,
Mm-hmm.
like an earthquake is happening. It's so frighteningly bizarre. I don't know what to make of
And then it all resolves at the end.
Welcome to China Kitchen.
Just a hard cut to a black screen.
With, like, melodic harmony, like, plucking of some string instrument, and a very welcoming... Welcome to China Kitchen in an accent that I am not going to imitate.
Good choice.
Though I am quite tempted.
Don't be.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with being tempted. It's only
all about-
problematic if I do it.
You are the sum of your actions, and you made the right choice.
And some... I might argue that the entire point of the commercial is to make you feel uneasy, so that when it cuts to China Kitchen with the nice harmony, you feel relieved and resolved.
I wanted to ask.
And now you're at peace, and you associate China Kitchen
with the piece.
Yeah.
I was curious as to like how you would how you would like rationalize any decision made in this commercial, because everything they do seems specifically geared and designed to make you uncomfortable with their product. I think that's a good rationalization. I don't think it works, but I totally 100% respect them, A, for their execution, and B, for even attempting. It's such a radical commercial.
It is a radical commercial. It's memorable, especially when you consider that, like, everything is so generic. We didn't see anything specific. The restaurant is called China Kitchen.
Which is the
You
most
cannot have a more generic name for a Chinese restaurant.
They don't show you anything specific about the
We
restaurant.
just
No
see
staff.
food that you see on, like, every Chinese food menu.
You don't even see the layout of the restaurant. You just,
just see one table.
And the background is black.
It looks kind of shitty, too. It doesn't even look...
like a good table.
It doesn't look like a great table. It looks very average. So there's nothing exceptional. So what they do was they make a crazy choice.
And I love them for it.
And yeah, so...
Because I love being scared. I loved Hereditary. Did I mention that? Go see Hereditary.
You did. Although unprompted, but you did.
This is definitely, when this is done being edited, Hereditary will no longer be in theaters. So it doesn't even matter. But see it. Guys, I'm hijacking the pod. This is now a movie recommendation pod.
Stop.
See
No,
Hereditary.
this is a commercial pod. And it will always be, except when we decide to do a deep dive into Uncle Magic. Anyway, would this commercial convince you to buy the product?
You know what? Generally, I say no in this podcast. But if I were near Shepherdstown, West Virginia, and on my local access television channel, I stumble across this commercial, guess where I'm going for date night?
Yeah, no,
China Kitchen,
I agree
baby.
with you. They didn't even guarantee that anything about the restaurant was interesting.
They make zero guarantees about anything.
I still feel like I need to go and, like, see what's up.
Yeah, because the brilliant minds that came up with this commercial must be doing something right.
Right, yeah, that's
There's
the thing. It
something
makes
good
me
going
feel
on here.
like the people in charge are, like, bold, and
Yeah.
they're making, like, crazy decisions.
And maybe that
And they're able
reflects
to
in the
work
food.
with what they got. And yeah, so, like, when you're making a commercial on no budget, you have to be creative. When you're making Chinese food in West Virginia,
On no budget.
you have to be creative.
And
So I feel like they showcased something that is relevant to the business.
even if not every decision they make pans out, something's, I'm assuming, gonna happen. Something interesting is gonna happen. Something unique is gonna happen. I want to be there for it.
I respect them for trying. Do you think the China Kitchen Chinese accent at the end is a West Virginian putting on a Chinese affectation, or do you think it's an actual Chinese person?
I don't want to speculate because no answer I give is going to be good. Because I either say that I think that's a actual Chinese accent.
That's true.
And
Either way, if you're
I
wrong
sound
here.
like a racist asshole for believing that's what Chinese people sound like. Or I say that that's a West Virginia person doing a bad Chinese accent, and then someone's like, oh no, that's a real Chinese person. How dare you? And I'm a dick. So, I'm a dick either way. I'm not answering your loaded question, Daniel Moishi Feingold.
It's a good decision.
On a scale of 1 to existential dread, what would you rate this commercial?
I would have to rate it a Punnett square.
How does that relate to the scale?
It relates to Hereditary.
Yes!
Yeah, I'd rate it quite highly.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
I
of
think
China
they did a
Kitchen.
good job with the zero skills that they had and the zero budget that they had.
This is, I think, the best commercial we've seen on the pod.
Do you? That's an interesting episode
Best of.
for the future. Just revisiting commercials that we think are genuinely good.
We're 5 episodes deep and we're already planning a best of.
Because I also don't know, I think Reese's Puffs was a very good commercial too.
I'm gonna be completely frank with you. I've totally erased that from my memory. I have no recollection of it.
The phone.
I know Brenda's song's in it, but that's it.
I thought it was a good commercial.
I believe it. I just don't remember.
I'll have to see. I'll have to let this gestate.
I
and see
can't
how it
imagine
affects me.
but I can't find myself forgetting this one anytime soon. This will stick with me. This is gonna sit
That's
in my
true.
gut.
It is a very simple premise, and it's
Yeah, I respect the hell out of this
horrifying in
commercial.
its
I respect the
simplicity.
simplicity. It sounds like I'm being facetious. I'm genuine.
No,
I like this
I do
commercial.
agree with you. I think that this was a very smart marketing move because I am really tempted to go. Just
My
for no
quest-
reason, I'm tempted to go and be disappointed, but like I still
My
want
question
to go.
is, do you think that they knew what they were doing when they made this? Do you think this is a happy accident, or do you think they intentionally went out to make an unsettling commercial?
It feels like they had to have intentionally made it unsettling. Like, it feels like it can't possibly... Because, like, if it isn't intentional, it's a bad commercial.
Oh,
right? Like, if you set out to make, like a normal commercial, then you've failed really badly if this is what you come up with. So it's hard for me to imagine that anyone could really be so diluted as to think that this is a good, normal commercial.
It's definitely not normal.
So it has to have been an attempt to do something weird and different.
Alrighty, I think that's all we have to say about China Kitchen.
China Kitchen,
commercial.
Good job.
Yeah, but it's excellent. It's well worth... If you live in West Virginia... all of our listeners.
Yeah, check it out. Let us know.
Let us know if it's still around.
Yeah, this was uploaded in 2011, so who knows?
Hey, for listeners, do some research for us. Let us know if it's still around. I'm not going to Google it, but maybe one of you might.
Okay, anyway, next commercial. So this is from the same listener.
What is this commercial called, Daniel?
This commercial is called India Oven Commercial with Tim and Tom Butler.
Tim and Tom Butler.
It was uploaded by Tom Butler himself. The description, the uploaded by user Tom Butler.
On March 13th, 2008.
Description. Amazing how many views in only 2 weeks. Thanks everyone. And subscribe to our channel and see our other videos on this channel.
For those who are just listening and not gonna take a peek at it, I don't blame you. This video does have surprising amount of views. It's got nearly 140,000 views.
Yeah, definitely not bad for a commercial. So you ready for this India Oven 30-second commercial?
Let's do it. All right, Dan, what are your thoughts?
This was a very bad commercial.
Yeah, this is a rough one. It definitely feels public access.
Yeah, for sure.
I think this has had, of all the commercials we've seen, I think this is, honestly, on the opposite end of the spectrum. The last one we saw was the most radical, inventive, thoughtful, creative. This is the least thoughtful, least creative.
They didn't make any decisions at all.
No.
They didn't make a single choice. Let's go over the plot for those of us who didn't get.
You want me to take a crack at this
sure.
one?
Go ahead.
Two guys, I think they both have mullets.
I believe
Definitely
you're
one of
correct.
them has a mullet. Are in a mall in Utah, and they go to India Oven and they buy food. That's their commercial to get you to go to India Oven to buy food.
Yeah, and the dialogue is just, wow! You ever have India food before? India food, not Indian food.
India food.
India food.
The dialogue boils down to, this is a place that exists. It serves Indian food. It's here.
Wow, you ever have Indian food? No, I don't think I've ever had India food. Then they walk up to the counter and the lady behind the counter goes, hi, we have India food. They go, oh, India food looks good. Have you ever had India food? No, I've never had India food. Then it cuts to them eating.
It's such a,
and they're
baseline
like,
premise.
India food is good.
I guess in 90s Utah, it's such a sheltered bubble that most people have never had. The premise of the commercial is to get people comfortable with the idea that Indian food, A, exists,
is edible.
and B, is edible. Their barrier to entry on getting people into this place is so high that the commercial, I guess, if it's any more radical than this, is way too much for 1990s
Right,
Utah.
the only goal of this commercial is to just establish that Indian food exists.
And you can eat it.
That's really the radical idea that they're trying to sell. Or maybe, is this sort of tongue-in-cheek and they're intentionally being idiots?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, you don't get that impression. I don't really get that
way.
impression either. Something interesting I noticed about this composition-wide is I think every single cut breaks the 180-degree rule.
Let's do this again.
Yeah, let's look at this. So they're eating, blah, blah, blah. They're facing towards the left side of the screen. We see India Oven from their perspective.
We go back to the first shot.
Go back to the first shot.
Yeah, definitely.
And then we see this woman, and she's also looking towards the left side of the screen. And then we go to the other side of the counter, and they're on the other side of the counter, still looking to the...
Yeah.
So every single shot is a bad cut.
Well, I mean, Yes, technically, if we're following that rule. I mean, you can make the argument that the purpose of cohesive editing and the establishment of the 180-degree rule is just to create, like, a sense of spatial awareness in the viewer.
Sure.
I never felt that I was struggling with where I was in location to the space.
That's true. It is very simple, but I don't think I'm just being snobby. I do think that it genuinely feels like
there's
jarring and bad.
There's definitely no craftsmanship behind this commercial.
Yeah.
The lighting is kind of
like
gross.
Yeah, you're never like, what is going on spaceship? Because they're clearly just walking to a
In a
counter,
mall.
but they managed to make that a little bit confusing, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely could be clearer for something that is so simple. I have a question for you.
Okay.
Do the two gentlemen have accents?
I don't know.
Because I kind of felt like they had accents.
Well, this is Utah,
It
right?
didn't feel like an American accent. It felt like they were putting on some sort of weird foreign accent.
Let's listen again with that in mind.
India oven, huh? Hey, let's check that out. That looks good to me. You ever had India food? No, man, looks good. All right, let's check it out.
May I help you?
I'll take some of the vegetable samosa. Samosa? Yeah. And I'll check out the chicken tandoori.
Yeah, so, first of all, I would like to correct my previous assertion that they both have mullets.
Oh, only
one
one.
of them has a mullet. Non-mullet man, to me, sounds like he's doing, like, almost a Mexican accent?
I think it sounds to me like Midwest for both of them, but they're also like talking in like, it doesn't sound like an accent, they're just talking like a weird way because they're not totally comfortable being on camera.
Definitely that.
Is what it sounds like to me.
They-
like, oh yeah, you ever have India food before?
Yeah, at times it sounds like Californian, and other
Yeah.
times it sounds Canadian and
What
Mexican.
I think is that, I think you hit on something with Californian. I think that there's two Midwestern people who are trying to like sound chill and laid back.
Yeah.
And what comes out of their mouths is quite strange.
Yeah, it's really jarring. Another thing I noticed, and I did notice it before, I never had the time to bring it up, no one in this commercial is Indian. There's no Indian person in this commercial. The person behind the counter is pretty much as, like, far away from Indian as you can get. She is a blonde, petite white woman, which I think coincides with the fact that they are trying to make as safe a commercial as possible and make Indian food seem as safe and approachable as possible, and they're
That's true. It might
the way to
be.
go about
It might
that
be
was- yeah.
for a demographic that isn't necessarily comfortable with people who aren't white.
Yeah, I mean, I think it definitely is. And I think their decision to make the person behind the counter a blonde, small white woman is, like, thematically cohesive, but also weird. And, like, just weird to me now.
It also could be that there are no Indian people who work there.
That's true, too.
It could just
I'm sure
genuinely
there are not
be
a
an
ton-
Indian food.
I'm sure there are not
place
a
that
ton
isn't.
of Indian people in Utah in the 90s.
Are you sure that this is Utah? Do they say that?
Yeah, in the Ogden Mall in Utah.
Oh, okay. I missed that.
Yeah, so, I mean, probably their workforce is white, blonde people. Maybe that was just the person that they hired.
Yeah.
Maybe that's, like, actually someone who just works at India Oven in the Ogden Mall in Utah. Am I right? Play that again. Is it in the Ogden Mall? Oh, Newgate Mall.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Play it, though? I want to see it's in Ogden, Utah.
Oh, no, you're
Yeah,
right. You
Ogden,
nailed
Utah,
it.
baby.
You nailed it. Something weird at the end is come in and see how you can win a free airline ticket anywhere in the world.
Oh, what?
Did you? Yeah, you didn't notice that?
I didn't pick up on that.
Yeah, and then also when we cut to the shot of the woman behind the counter working at the restaurant,
Yeah.
you can see behind her. Hold on. Yeah.
Free airline ticket to anywhere in the USA. What is going on with that? I never noticed that. All of a sudden, holy shit, that blows my mind.
It's pretty. Yeah, it's taking
astounding
up a
to me.
decent
It's
portion of the frame.
It's astounding to me that something so bizarre I completely overlooked.
There's a lot of weirdness happening. To be fair,
I guess it's masked by such, like, a veneer of normalcy that my mind glazed over and didn't assume anything bizarre would be in frame.
it's like you can't even. It's so outside of what you would expect to find in this commercial, your brain just ignores the information that says you can win an airline ticket anywhere in the world.
USA. Why? First of all,
Anywhere in the world.
Before we go any further, why? What is going on with that?
I don't know.
Also,
I don't know.
Going back, the second to last shot is almost actually well composed. There's a cut before...
The very last shot where it's them eating, you mean?
Yeah, the one previous to this one at second 27. There's almost like an interesting balance.
Well, it zooms out, and this isn't bad. You're
the
right.
lighting is weird. They are way overexposed in the front, but
just from a composition perspective,
you see India oven in the top right quadrant.
There's some negative space.
Half of there's some interesting cutting up of the frame. Is nicely composed.
I agree with you. Yeah, it's sort of following the rule of thirds a little bit.
I like it. I like this one shot in this commercial.
I am 100% sure it was an accident that they stumbled upon an interesting
They just knew they had to get India oven in frame, and they did it here's the thing. I know their goal was to just get them eating an India oven in the same frame. They did a bad job of that if that was their goal, and they stumbled upon a nice composition by accident.
Yeah, well, they didn't do a bad job of that. They did it.
It's not even... I'm sure they were trying to get it set.
I think... Yes, I was just going to say, I think that the shot that they wanted was they are directly in front of India oven, and it's just
get it, and they got a generic
head-on. But instead, they accidentally brought some diagonal lines into the frame, and, that's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Would you eat an India oven based on this commercial?
Based on this commercial... No.
Okay, what about not? Would you just eat an India oven not based on this commercial?
If I find myself in Ogden, Utah, and I want some Indian food, which quite frequently I do, I really like Indian food, I'd probably hustle my way over to India oven, because I doubt there are too many other places to get Indian food in Utah.
Yeah. This was not a great commercial.
No, it's quite poor in almost every respect. It's a bad commercial.
It tells you nothing. Well, we went over this, but it tells you nothing beyond this exists.
And we serve Indian food, and you can totally eat it.
And the dudes they don't do anything funny. They're obviously, because it says in little annotations that pop up throughout the YouTube video, and this is. Yeah, so these two brothers...
we got the director's cut version of this with, running commentary from the directors.
They make videos, they make comedy videos, but there were no jokes here. There was nothing funny about this beyond them, kind of half-committing to a character.
There's nothing... They don't have characters. Can you tell me anything about their characters in this?
Yeah, well, I think they're trying to just be, very laid back and be... I don't know what they're going for, because there are no jokes. They're just whoa, I've never had India food.
Yeah, they definitely don't have characters. There's nothing artistic going on in this.
There are no good creative choices.
There are no choices. The choices made...
Right, in that respect, it's the opposite of what we just watched with the China
They are
kitchen.
there to relay information as effectively and efficiently and succinctly as possible. And I guess they do that. They definitely relay all the information they are tasked with.
All the information and more about free flights anywhere in the world.
I will never understand that, and I'm not even trying to grasp it. I'm not even trying to,
I don't want to understand it, but I'm annoyed that I don't.
Yeah, because I know I don't feel like going down another rabbit hole trying to figure this shit out.
We just got out of just a peek behind the curtain. We just recorded Uncle Magic Part 2, so we are in no mood for any more investigating.
That was so exhausting emotionally.
We're very comfortable just allowing this free flight to be a mystery forever.
Because, how would you even begin to investigate that?
I don't even want to think about it.
It's connected to some weird...
Some sweepstake at the Newberry Mall in Utah, and it gotta go on Facebook. Oh,
I'm just gonna believe that the Illuminati owns India oven.
It's just the Illuminati. It's the simplest explanation.
It's always the right one.
Therefore, Occam's razor.
Yeah.
What do you rate this commercial?
I rate it a Tim and Tom. Is a boring answer for a boring commercial.
So the other listener who sent us a commercial insert name here.
Anna Maria Formicelli.
They sent a message, and it says, "Hey, I told Dan I was sending this over. Jollibee, I hope I'm saying that right, I'll probably find out very soon. Jollibee is a Filipino fast food chain. We have a couple in the US. There's at least one in Queens. Last year, they did a series of dramatic AF commercials for Valentine's Day, and it looks like they continued this year. This first time I watched them, there were no subtitles, but now I can't find one without subtitles, so you decide what you want to do. There's enough English in Tagalog that you would probably get it anyway. This link has all the commercials from last year. You can watch all of them if you want. If you're gonna watch one, just watch the first one." Daniel, listen for Anak at 602. Yeah, that's child in Tagalog.
Oh,
It's a
interesting.
fun fact I know. Have fun. Insert name here.
Anna Maria Formicelli.
So let's just watch all of them.
I know nothing about Filipino culture or Tagalog as a language, so I'm sure this will be a fascinating learning
I know
experience.
extremely close to nothing as well.
Okay.
So the one that they want us to watch the most is the first one. This is an 11-minute YouTube video.
It's a compilation of all of their
We'll watch-
commercials.
You want to watch all of them?
Yeah, we'll pound through them.
We'll pound through them. We'll react to them one at a time. So the video is called...
Top 5. I'm gonna do a different pronunciation just to cover our bases. Jollibee commercial, Valentine's series, vow, crush, date, one of the 5 heart emojis. You decide which one it is.
And Jollibee, or Jollibee, is spelled Jollibee.
Yes, this was uploaded by Pinas Archive. Oh no, they made me say penis. There's no tilde, so
It
it's
does-
Penis Archive. The description is top 5 Jollibee commercial, Valentine's Day series, vow, crush, date, Almusel, extra special day, vow, crush, date, Almusel, extra special day with timestamps for each.
And then there's a link to follow Jollibee on Facebook.
And a bunch of tags.
And they said all credit goes to the owner of the video, which is meaningless.
Yeah, we
but
don't
cool.
know who that is.
Anyway, here we go.
Let's dive in. I said penis archive. Oh my god! Ah! Oh my god! What?
That was devastating.
Jeez, there's so much there's a lot in this one.
There is a lot. This is a 3-minute long commercial.
So obviously there's going to be a lot.
It's
in
a long,
commercial
it's
that's
a long one.
The production. Let's start with. Okay, no. Start with the plot. You want to take a plot?
Okay, so the plot is these two people are Jollibee is how it's pronounced, right?
Jollibee, I think.
Jollibee something. They're at this Filipino fast food joint, and they don't know each other, but they order the same thing, and then they look at each other, and then there's a voiceover narration from the guy who's like, "From that moment, I knew that I would love you forever." Blah blah blah. And then the rest of the commercial is essentially just a montage.
She
of
slowly
them.
walks down the aisle, intercut with the time they spent together. He is infinitely patient with her. He wants to make her the happiest
He's
woman
like helping
alive.
her. He's pushing her car, like helping her get unstuck, helping her with her books.
They have a
just like-
wonderful relationship with one another, and he does a lot for her. He is an incredibly positive influence in her life, and she's walking down the aisle to him, and in the last moment, you find out that
She's not walking to him.
she's walking to another man, and it's kind of beautiful in that he knows and he has come to terms with the fact that she does not love him, but that does not alter his love for her.
We don't even know that he loves her in a non-platonic
Romantic-
way. That's what's
yeah.
interesting about this commercial. It's just our own societal expectations
Expectation
that
of
apply
love.
that sort of...
It plays on those
I
expectations.
mean, the
and
commercial is
manipulates
very
them.
intentionally, with the music and everything, And also the wedding.
Yeah.
They're doing everything in its power to make us think that they're falling in love. But he never says it's a romantic love.
No, it's just, I knew that I wanted to make you happy and I would love you. And that's why it ends with him smiling at her in a regretful, wistful way. It's a genuine happy smile.
There's no anger.
And it's beautiful, I think.
Yeah, it is. It is genuinely, like...
moving, almost.
Just as a short film, it's good.
Yeah. If you take away all... It seems like...
It's filmed,
a short film that Jollibee sponsored. And they kind of were like,
yeah,
all right,
just sponsored
we'll just
get, like their name in there for a second.
But it feels like they just financed a short film.
Yeah, I mean, there are also a couple other moments where, like, the dude has a Jollibee drink.
And she takes it, and they meet in a Jollibee.
But it's really only tangentially related to Jollibee. It's filmed very beautifully. The color correction is very golden and nice, and it's like a nice soft focus.
It looks like it was filmed, like the slow-mo parts were filmed in like
actual slow-mo.
Yeah. It's really nice, and the story is really nice. It's well acted. It's really nicely shot. The story
the acting's really good. There's a moment where, like, they both have, like, tears in their eyes, and it's just...
It's moving, it's poignant.
I felt it.
And at the end, when the twist arrives, when she's not walking to him, she's walking to someone else, I grip Dan. And, like, I was genuinely surprised. I didn't know where it was going to take me. I thought that it would just be a happy first commercial, and then the next you would see, like, a deteriorating relationship, and then they would get back together in the last one. But... my expectations were totally subverted.
Well, it's subverted on more than one level, because you were ready for something sad to happen, you mentioned. And it was not really sad. A twist happened, but it wasn't a sad twist.
And you expect it to be sad once you know that the twist happens, but then the final twist is that it's not played for tears.
Yes. The biggest twist of all is that it's actually
genuinely kind, and you're moved by it.
Yeah, so it's a smart commercial.
I like it.
Like, even if you're trying to, like, think 2 steps ahead of it, it's even farther ahead than you were.
I genuinely enjoyed watching it.
My question is it a good... It's a good short film. Is it a good commercial?
Jollibee attaching its name to anything in the States, I think, is a good idea, because I didn't know anything about it. Now I do.
But is this in the States? I don't think...
I think our viewer in the email said that there's one in Queens.
Oh, okay, but I don't know if that was the point of this commercial.
No, it's not, but I've now seen this commercial. I don't know if it was...
They said that there's at least one in Queens.
I don't know if that's the point of this commercial, but I've seen this. I go
and now you want to go to
school
Jollibee.
in Queens. If I run into a Jollibee, I'm gonna eat there.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I guess this is a... I don't know. It's an interesting type of advertising where you just make a good video and attach your name to it.
I'm a fan.
So this would convince you to... I kind of feel the same way. If there was a Jollibee, I'd be like, what is this? Because all I know is that something they sell soft drinks and spicy chicken nuggets.
I like spicy chicken nuggets.
How's that not Burger King? I don't know.
I feel like it's Filipino Burger King.
Filipino Burger King.
But you know what? I'm down for that. I'm down for something that's going to provide the same food as Burger King, but isn't Burger King.
That's honestly... Yeah, I guess that is what I want out of Burger King or McDonald's, is just the food without giving my money to Burger King or McDonald's.
Exactly, yeah. And I'm sure Jollibee's a massive corporation that treats its employees fairly poorly and, like, produces its meats in, like...
Yeah, I don't know how the regulations are in the Philippines.
I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about if you're making cheap, affordable, fast food that tastes good and deteriorates quickly, it's not going to be made well or by happy workers. So I'm sure it's just as bad, but, like, fuck it.
But I feel fuzzy inside because the commercial had a sweet message.
Yeah. I liked it.
Yeah. This is a good commercial.
Let's tackle the next one.
Okay, that was just the first in, like, a 5-part series, it looks like.
Oh, yeah.
So let's see. They also all say, inspired by a true story. I don't know what that means.
It means literally nothing, because I'm pretty sure the Blair Witch movies are tagged as inspired by a true
there's
story.
Literally no legal body that regulates if those claims are remotely true. You can just say that. Fargo also says, like...
each season of Fargo,
the names have been changed to protect the
identities
innocent,
of the deceased.
but the rest of the story has been told exactly as it happened out of respect for the dead. It sounds badass. Fargo's completely made up.
Of course, it's made up by good writers, and I
Yeah.
like the show. But like, I don't care. It means nothing. Whenever I say that, I'm like, that means nothing to me, and I'm not gonna register it.
Yeah, anyway, this podcast is based on a true story.
Yeah.
Chillin' with a Filipina at your local Jollibee.
God damn it, they've done it again!
Masterpiece, bravo! Bravo! I don't know who's directing these commercials, but if I had money, like, come to the States, I would finance the fuck out of whatever they wanted to do.
Yeah, they did it. So I haven't watched any of the commercials beyond the first one.
Oh, okay.
So this is new and
It's
uncharted territory
Yeah.
for me as well. Yeah, they did it again. It was really good.
The sequel is just as... You know what? No, I'm not going to say just.
It
Maybe.
is. I don't think it's just as... Well, let's talk plot.
Do the plot.
I'm going to do the plot?
Do the
Okay.
plot.
So it's high school, and this dude, we see that he likes this girl, and this dude is like in his mid to late 20s. Doesn't look like a high schooler.
I don't know.
But it's
I
okay.
thought it was a high schooler.
It's fine. He likes this girl. He sees her eating Jollibee. He goes, oh, he looks at her longingly. And then he buys her a burger and writes like a sweet note on it and puts it in her locker. I don't know how he got it in there. You can slip a note in a locker. I don't know how you get a whole burger.
Well,
in a
later
locker.
on in the commercial, you see that someone drops books and she bends down to help him out. And while that's happening, he slips a burger next to her on the seat next to her, and as he's walking away, the person who dropped the books kind of gives him a subtle high five to imply that they're friends. They were in on it. It's very subtle.
So you think he had spies?
I think he's got friends working with him.
He had, what is it, RT1 Go, the tracking service.
Track your interests.
Sprinkle of Jesus sponsors.
He's got friends helping him out.
Okay,
here.
sure, that's plausible. So anyway, the premise is that he's given her burgers with sweet notes on, like, a relationship is budding. But then, she's a cheerleader, and he sees that she's talking to this jock, and that she's taken, she's got a boyfriend, he's all sad, and then, what's this? She's having a fight with her boyfriend. This is his chance. So he sees her crying alone on a bench. He has a burger for her with a
Burger at the
confession
ready.
of his love. He's about to give it to her, and you think you know how it's going to end. But once again, Jollibee, one step ahead.
The jock comes in and comforts his girlfriend, and like, fair.
That's life sometimes.
And that makes him not like the best boyfriend ever, but he's not an absolute
He's
monster.
not necessarily evil. I
He
don't know what
likes-
she did. Maybe she did some sneaky shit.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. Well, couples get into arguments. He was there. He didn't leave her. He
He's
wanted
not
to make it work.
necessarily a villain. We never see him do anything bad. See,
Yeah.
again, it's playing with our expectations. We see this jock who's dating a cheerleader, and the main dude is nerdy and in love with the cheerleader. In our heads, we have an archetype for who this jock is. He's going to be mean and mistreat her, but we never really see that. They get into a fight. That
And
happens.
because of the last commercial, I assumed that this would end with some emotional ambiguity. It wouldn't be. It would be a messy ending because they kind of, in the previous commercial, they have a messy ending, an emotionally uncertain one that kind of surprises you, goes against the grain. I assumed that it would just end there, but it doesn't. There's a second scene.
We cut to like 30 years later.
Which, by the way, I made a comment while watching this commercial to Dan that the fashion was outrageous,
Right.
and I loved it. It looked very 90s, which explains why
I didn't even think of that.
the fashion was the way
It
it was.
does make sense.
Because-
this commercial is thinking ahead of
This
you.
commercial's smart.
And
Anyways,
then-
what happens 30 years later?
Yeah, so in
20
high
years
school
later?
reunion, we see this woman who looks vaguely like the actress who played the main love interest before, and we don't know that it's cutting ahead 30 years later. So I assumed that it was like her mom or something. I didn't really know.
I think they heavily implied that it's a high school reunion.
Okay, I missed that, but anyway, I figured it out anyway. So then the dude shows up this time. He's a grown man and he has a burger.
And you're not sure what their
Is this
relationship.
the start of their relationship?
I
or
assumed
what? I don't know.
I assumed that they had not seen each other.
Right, that
for
was my
a
assumption
long
as well,
time.
that this was him finally, 30
Getting a
years
chance
later,
with her.
he's going to take a chance.
Or you know what I assumed? I assumed that she had been married to the jock. I assumed that's just how it happened.
right, yeah.
And they would just rekindle a friendship.
Seems very plausible too, because the first commercial has set your expectations that way.
That it's going to be not the happiest ending, but a happy one that's kind of like people can be in love, fall out of love, or just have missed connections and still remain close.
And have different types of love, and yeah. Which does seem to be the theme of these commercials. But then he gives her the burger, it says, sorry, I'm late. And that seems to play into your theory, and what my expectation was as well. And but then he explains...
The first line of the commercial comes, and he says, sorry, I had trouble putting the grandkids
You're
to
right,
sleep.
There was no dialogue before.
It was
that.
not a silent film, there's lots of nice... charming, calm music going on throughout the movie.
I didn't even realize that.
I called it a movie instinctively.
It is a movie.
And the first line of the commercial movie comes, and he says, "Sorry, I had a lot of trouble putting the grandkids to sleep," and they made it work.
Yeah,
they had kids.
Yeah, it turns out they were married the whole time. She probably dumped the jock like
you expected.
A week or two later. Wow, what a roller coaster!
It's a great one. It's another winner from Jollibee.
And Joel, I think the message was like for what was the moral of this story?
I think it's celebrate the joy of love.
To celebrate the joy of love that lasts a long time or something. For those who didn't give up on love.
Yes, I like that. I mean, you never see him being like a creepy pursuer, like when the jock...
It is a little bit creepy, to be fair. And I think that's why I don't like this commercial as much. It is a little bit more cliched, although it does, do interesting things with the expectations we have of that genre.
You never see him, like, angry at her for choosing the jock. No. And when the jock whisks the love interest away, he's not, like, running after her. He's just like, oh... Okay.
Yeah, and we sneak in her all these love messages, and we see her
love messages. They're just like reassuring,
that is
kind
true.
messages.
It is maybe a little bit creepy. One could argue to leave burgers.
Oh, it's definitely creepy.
Anonymous messages, but she always smiles, which one can argue is sending a problematic message. But in the context of these commercials, he is.
At the end of the day, they are fast food commercials.
At the end of the day, we are asking for it very much. We got a good commercial, and now we're asking for so much.
We're asking the moon from Jollibee.
And you know what? They gave us the stars, and that's pretty good too.
That's more than we deserve.
This is only 2 commercials.
We're spending so much time.
Oh my god, this is gonna end up being our longest episode.
How is this possible?
We've talked about Jollibee for so long, and we have more. Alright, we gotta go.
And by go, you mean go on.
Oh, I mean continue to watch commercials.
We're not going anywhere. Wow.
I have mixed feelings about this one.
Yes, same. I want to commend them for... They swung for the absolute fences.
They didn't hold back at all.
This is the most ambitious one. It's the shortest, but in terms of emotional complexity and, like, the vast ocean of, like, depth and emotion they are swimming in here, it's enormous.
You want to take us through the plot?
Absolutely. So... The commercial starts with a boy talking on the phone with who we later find out is the father, but you can infer very quickly.
This was the first one where I basically understood what the plot was immediately.
A boy's talking to his father on the phone, and the father is walking him through setting up for a Valentine's Day date. He sprinkles rose petals on the floor. He buys 12 dozen red balloons. He buys a bouquet of flowers. He buys Jollibee food for dinner.
Do they eat at Jollibee?
No, they don't eat at Jollibee. He picks up food from Jollibee, which, by the way, now we know Jollibee has takeout.
That is something we learned.
Yeah. But anyways, mom comes home. The son opens the door, walks the mom in for dinner, sits him down, and places the phone in front of the mother. We finally see the father. The father says, "Hi, hon. It's me. I'm in the hospital. I don't think I'm going to be able to make it, and I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to make it back for another Valentine's Day." And the mother starts crying, and it's a little bit heartbreaking.
And then the dad says, "Joey is your Valentine's Day."
Joey's your Valentine's Day from now on.
So in the beginning, it's the father's instructions to Joey, Anak, Joey, my child. And then we see his message to the mom.
So And that's pretty much how it ends, and they eat Valentine's Day dinner, and it's for a love that never dies. It's heartbreaking to see a woman's reaction to her husband, the love of her life, saying, "This is it for me." It's essentially she heard him let go. There are some problematic things going on in this commercial in terms of gender politics and a conflation of the love a child has for her mother and a romantic love. I don't know if that's what you were seeing. What were you seeing?
I don't know. I didn't really take any issue with the son becoming the Valentine's date. I thought that was fine. My issue with this is that it just, I think Jollibee may have crossed a line.
It's a little too dark?
I think it's a little bit too dark. This was the first one that felt exploitative.
Oh, okay.
To me, because they tell a very devastatingly sad story, and they do tell it pretty well, like all the other ones. The production values.
Oh, I think that goes without saying at this point.
Good. Yeah,
The acting is always top notch. Direction, lighting, cinematography
for
is
sure.
always really good.
But then to have the dad like profess his love and die, and then the mom. Like,
well, he never dies. He kind of just gives up.
Well, we know that he's
going to die.
Yeah. Well, I think he's dead already, and that video is... That's how I interpreted it, that he recorded that video before he died. Okay. He's already dead. And
interesting.
He sent that to his son and gave those special instructions to him without the mom knowing.
Yeah.
But anyway, so to me, to watch the dad, to find out that the dad is dead, and then to have the mom... in this new widow hug her son, and then there's a bucket of Jollibee chicken in front of them.
Yeah.
It rubbed me the wrong way.
I totally understand that criticism, and I buy it. For me, Jollibee kind of earned it.
That's fair. I think Jollibee really thinks that they earned it too. I think that they're like, okay, we have a reputation, we have a lot of good faith, let's fucking go for
with
it. Let's have this dude die, and then they'll grieve over chicken. And it was the first one that, because you know what, I think it's one where Jollibee is so central to it, and that's why it feels wrong. In the other ones, they were just telling nice stories, and like Jollibee was in the stories sort of tangentially.
See, I still think Jollibee's ancillary in this one.
Well, the whole thing is a Jollibee dinner. That is the whole big climax of the commercial. It's not. It is more ancillary than most commercials would be. But for the standard that Jollibee has set.
I guess. I still saw it as a Valentine's Day dinner where they just happen to pick up Jollibee because the son can't cook and it's just what's there.
Right. It's also that Jollibee, like, in the frame was featured so prominently.
Yeah, that might be it. And, like, I think, like, the surrounding area frame had, like, more muted colors in the Jollibee bucket.
Yeah, that's why it looked like that's why I was a little bit, because it looks like I think they are in a restaurant. Like, yeah, no, they're eating in a Jollibee. They gotta be, right? Why else would there be, like...
Well, then where is everyone else? I didn't see any servers.
You do see a server for a second. That's why it's a little bit weird.
That's where the mom... Oh, maybe that's where the mom is, yeah.
See, this is a server we see for a second towards the beginning.
Perhaps you're right.
So I'm pretty sure that they are eating in a Jollibee.
Yeah, I think you are correct. That does change.
That makes it, and that's another thing how Jollibee is so central. They are literally having a meal in a Jollibee. Eating Jollibee. It just feels like this one felt like it was trying to manipulate me.
I'm not gonna disagree with you too much. I do think that Jollibee earned enough goodwill for me to look past that. My main concern was with the idea that, like, the husband can pass ownership of his wife to the son.
It didn't feel like ownership to me.
Saying, like, this is your Valentine's now felt like a weird, like, okay, you are now the head of the household. You are now your mother's protector, which is kind of weird. It kind of felt weird to me. And also, like, the conflation of, like... Now the son assumed, like, romantic love responsibilities for his mother was a little weird, but maybe that's just my projecting of my expectations of what Valentine's is supposed to be about.
I guess you can make that argument. Watching it, I didn't really think of it that way. It was just like the dad really loves the mom on a romantic level, of course, but also just like pure love.
Yeah.
And the son loves the mom too, and the dad is gone now, but there's still love in the family. And that's the message that I got, but I see how you could make an argument.
So I think this is our least favorite so far.
Yeah.
It's miles ahead of almost any other commercial I've ever seen.
In terms of commercials go, it's a good one.
But Jollibee set a
production
very
value.
high bar. This one doesn't clear.
Yeah, well, Jollibee has gained some good faith with us. If this was the first one we watched, I have a feeling I would like it a lot less than I do.
Maybe.
But because Jollibee has earned a reputation in my heart as someone
These
who
are
knows how to
still
make good ads.
nitpicks for any other commercial.
Yeah, I mean, when you compare this to fucking India. No, it was China Kitchen, India, whatever.
India oven, huh?
When you compare it to the Indian food commercial.
We are debating the artistic value and merit of these commercials.
That is true.
Not the... Well, this shot was in focus, so it's good.
Yeah,
We're miles ahead of the...
I guess that is really a testament to the standard that Jollibee has set.
We are... in totally different... We're not even playing the same sport with our usual commercials.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Alrighty, let's tackle commercial
Yeah,
number 4.
on to the next one.
Let's do it. Same issues.
Yeah, I think Jollibee may have ran out of ideas.
I think they jumped the shark on this one. The fact that it's almost the same death card being played. To go through the plot.
Okay, so the plot is there's this older man and his older wife, and they're walking to Jollibee, and we hear an internal dialogue from him about like, oh,
All the things they do
she
on their
goes on
walk.
this long walk. I would never go on this long walk if I didn't love her so much.
And
They
he's
see the
married for
playground.
27
so
years.
things to see. They order the same burger all the time. By the way, for a little side note, they have spaghetti at Jollibee.
They have a lot of shit,
That's
apparently.
very weird to me. I can't
I would
imagine
order
fast food
noodles.
spaghetti.
What is that place? Noodle Company, I think, is like not fast food, but it's like a chain restaurant that serves lots of different kinds of noodles. I had meatballs and spaghetti there. It's pretty good.
Okay, anyway. They order the same thing every day. He goes, we sit in the same seat every day. And then they're sitting next to each other eating their meal. Someone walks by, and they
then-
use that to transition. And now the old woman is a young girl.
What was your initial thought when you saw that?
What I thought they were doing was that it was like...
In his eyes, she's
yes,
still
exactly.
like the day he first met her.
Yeah, that's what, and then I thought it was going to cut to him, and he would be a young guy too,
Yes.
and it would be like, But instead, the girl goes, I know, I miss mom too, Dad, and then a tear falls from her face. I didn't like this one.
No, this one, it doesn't do anything particularly interesting narrative-wise.
It wasn't a good twist.
No, you see them explicitly ordering specific items at Jollibee's.
And the fake out,
feels very
fake out
pandering.
that you assume that it's going to be like they love each other like when they were young again.
I feel like that would've been-
makes it uncomfortable when we find out that it's his daughter.
And I feel like that would have been more of a charming commercial. I would have liked that more. And not everything has to be
same.
charming and likable, but I feel like that would have been more endearing.
Well, it's like M. Night Shyamalan's career. He's boxed himself into being the
twist
guy who
guy.
always has a twist, and now Jollibee has boxed itself into the restaurant that always has beautiful commercials with a twist. And there just wasn't a twist here.
There wasn't a
They
new
just forced
idea.
it. Yeah. It felt like they did this because they had to.
This time it does feel emotionally manipulative and a little bit exploitative because it not only does something that they previously did, it also feels more like they're directly advertising something by like explicitly or like mentioning, oh, you can order a Yum burger.
Right, yeah, that is a good point. It was very shoehorned in, like, we always order a Yum burger and spaghetti.
This one felt not gross, but a little bit slimy.
A little, they're starting to feel a bit slimy.
The shiny
also,
veneer can't cover
I'm
it
not sure that
anymore.
it even makes any sense.
Narratively, no.
Yeah, like what was actually happening in reality? Was he just talking
Going on
to
a
his
romantic-
daughter about it? Because
Did the daughter assume the ritual and she's taken like the spot
yeah,
of
see, that
romantic
makes me
love?
uncomfortable.
That makes you uncomfortable, but the son taking the spot of the father doesn't make you uncomfortable.
Well-
the daughter taking the place of the mother does.
the daughter, yeah, and I guess that's a good point. I guess I can't really explain why, but I guess the ritual was made. Okay, what makes me uncomfortable is that the dad goes, I would never go on this long walk if it weren't for the beautiful woman beside me.
Oh, that he explicitly mentions her beauty.
I think that detail makes it weird to me.
Okay.
Whereas the Valentine's Day thing, there's nothing that makes it romantic love. It's just like mom is single for a tragic reason, so I'm gonna make her a nice dinner, and I'm comfortable with that, but I'm less comfortable
with assuming a daily ritual
with a walk that he only does because he loves how beautiful his wife is.
Okay,
so him continuing to do the walk,
I think he just conflates like romantic love with like his physical attraction to her. So I think just like saying how beautiful she is just how much he loves her.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. It's the messiest commercial.
Right. Well, because the thing is, he doesn't even love the walk. He only does the walk because his wife loves the walk. So now is he dragging the daughter on the? It's just weird, and it doesn't make sense. This one was not very good.
And emotionally, it's the messiest.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Alrighty, for this last fifth commercial, the fifth Jollibee commercial, we got a special
guest, the first time.
Would you care to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Gabe. I'm Jake's brother.
Are you a commercial boy?
I guess now I am.
Yeah!
So we've clued him in on what's going on here. He comes up here, he's like, what is this? What commercial are you doing? What's a Jollibee? Now he knows. He does not know anything about the previous 4 commercials, but he's about to see commercial
And I think that's a good thing, because honestly, I feel like I'm getting a little bit jaded.
Stale.
Like, I know what Jollibee does, so I'm curious to get a fresh perspective on this. Yeah, okay. So, the last Jollibee commercial, here we go. Can you see?
Yes.
All right. So that is the final Jollibee commercial. Gabriel, thoughts?
It took me a while to understand what was happening because I just put together that was his daughter and not his wife.
I did have the first thought when okay, well, let's
walk through the plot.
What did we just watch?
So this family, I guess a father and daughter, keeps getting deliveries that the father keeps turning away. First it was...
What?
Is that what was
I
happening?
don't think so. We should preface that all the previous 4 commercials had subtitles.
Right.
This one did not.
The only words you understand are cheesy bacon mushroom. So I thought...
I assumed that he was a boy who was interested in...
Yeah,
I thought that he was bringing, gifts.
I thought that at the end, and the father was like, no, we don't want that. And I put together that they were gifts, it was a puppy, it was cute stuff, and then...
Yeah, he's not just a puppy delivery boy.
No.
He ordered puppies. The dad ordered puppies, but saw the puppy and was like,
fuck this puppy.
No, this looks defective.
I thought for a second that he was speaking in English because I thought he said something like, we only ordered the cat, because he was holding a cat.
He ordered a cat!
He probably said something like, we only like cats.
But the denouement happens... when he brings the cheesy bacon mushroom yum burger and the father lets him in and they enjoy the cheesy bacon mushroom yum burger together as a family.
Yeah. Did you like this commercial, Gabe?
I didn't find anything wrong with it. I heard you guys talking about how emotionally manipulative the company is from the previous commercials.
Some other ones were problematic.
Yeah. I didn't feel this was emotionally manipulative. I felt it was kind of nice and a way of saying, let Jollibees be part of your family.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think that this was the most normal commercial.
This was a return to normalcy from them. The previous commercial was their Interstellar. Mm-hmm. And this was their coming back to Earth.
The darkest trench. In the 3-act structure, it's the dark moment of the soul.
I gotta explain. I don't like Interstellar. I feel like Christopher Nolan's movies kept getting bigger and bigger, and Interstellar was way too big, and they couldn't do anything new, and it kind of collapsed in on itself. I felt like the 4th Jollibee commercial was that.
I agree.
They kind of needed to take a step back with their next commercial, and they did.
No.
This 5th commercial is a step back.
I think this is the first time that they just made a commercial. Yeah.
I'm looking at the title. It says Top 5 Valentine's Series. Were these commercials chronological, or was it...
That's a good question.
I think it was. I think it did go in descending order. Well, this one I think is better than the 4th commercial.
But are you asking the order that we watched it in?
In terms of the company, the way you're saying it, you're saying that it was the company's choice that they were getting feedback that their commercials were too big, and now this fifth one, they decided
Right,
to reel
these
it
commercials
back.
might be in a random order, or
Yes,
they might have
yeah.
all been released at
This
the
is
same
compiled
time.
If
for
this
us.
was the first commercial, then you might have the same or a different reaction because
That's
you're not
true.
comparing it.
That's very
Yeah,
true. I
yeah.
don't know what the like chronological order of release.
Yeah,
of these
that's just
commercials
our
was.
perspective, having watched them in the order that they're presented to us in the
Yeah.
YouTube video, which may or may not be related
any
at
order.
all to how they came out.
But to me, it felt like they took a step back. They realized they had been trying to do too much, and this was just a very clean, very well executed commercial that was done well. They
yeah, this
conveyed
is the
their
first
message.
commercial that has like the money shot of them taking bites of the burgers as the camera pans, and it's like just very stereotypical. Like,
And like,
fast
here's
food
a
commercial.
shot of the burger.
And it was fine because it wasn't such an emotional commercial.
But it was well done. It tells
Yeah.
a fun story.
The fun little story, yeah. The dude shows up and he's very cool looking this time, like the very last time when
It
he
looks
has
like
the
he's
burgers.
changed or something.
Yeah, that was a little bit
Jarring.
muddled to me, that like he's all different, but that's not the thing that makes it different. What makes it different is the burger, so why even have him look cool?
Different.
It feels like you should have him look really cool
Exactly
and then get
the same.
rejected and then return to like his normal nerdy self.
Or just look exactly the same and say like, this is the
Right,
variable
yeah.
that has changed. and
Right,
this
yeah.
Is what we'll get
it makes
to.
it makes it confusing.
You want to
what has
eliminate
changed.
the number of variables you have. You want to minimize
To
it.
play devil's advocate, perhaps his train of thought was, I need to do my absolute best. I need to look my best, and I need to bring
my best.
Hence,
Bring-
Jollibee's.
Right,
Yeah.
but I would say that his goal is to impress the dad, because the girl already likes him.
Yeah,
so if
she's
you're
like,
impressing
I want
the dad,
you.
you wouldn't look like really cool, like
I gotta look
like
sexy for dad.
Henry Winkler ass.
Henry
like,
Winkler is your
Fonz.
definition of cool.
yeah. Like, so if you wanted to impress the dad, I feel like you would wear like a tie. I don't
tux.
know. It was a bit.
Maybe this is a
confusing
cultural
to me.
difference.
It could
That's
be.
a good point.
We
yeah,
don't know anything
we
about
don't really know
Filipino
anything
culture.
about that. Yeah.
That's true.
We also don't know any Tagalog, so this was a bit confusing.
I don't know. I feel like the dialogue was superfluous.
I don't think it's
Yeah.
pronounced Tagalog. I think it's Tagalog or something. I heard it somewhere. I don't think it's pronounced
You
Tagalog.
know, I
I've
think you
only
might
seen
be
it.
right, Jake. Not Jake. Jake, I think you're wrong, Gabe. I think you might be right.
I've only seen it spelled. I don't know how to.
Tagalog? I don't know. Sorry
I
for
fe-
pronouncing it wrong.
Yeah, I was gonna say if I offended anyone, I'm very, very sorry.
It's just
I'm
'cause we're
just
dumb.
And I'm sorry if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
We're all just sorry.
We're sorry for being here. We're sorry for making this possibly an hour and a half.
Okay, so based on all these commercials, which do you think was the best, Jake?
I think their first was their best. Unfortunately, Gabe, you did not see that.
Yeah,
I would
will not vote.
honestly recommend watching all of these. Like, genuinely, they're good stories.
It's an experience, yeah.
But I do think it goes largely in descending order. The first commercial is the best. The second one's second best. Third one's third best. The fourth one's the worst.
And then the fifth is
fifth
kind
one-
of in a category of its own.
It's a totally different style.
It can't be judged in the same way because it's just
A
like
commercial
yeah.
that's clean and fine and well shot.
Yeah. So overall, I think you and I both agree that we would check out Jollibee based on these commercials.
Absolutely. If I'm
Just
in
like,
Queens
what
and I
is the
stumble
company
on it,
that
made these
spent
commercials?
like $1 million to make a beautiful commercial for no reason?
I would genuinely, the filmmakers involved with these, if I had the resources and they wanted to make a movie, they have carte blanche. They can make their movie. They can tell the story they want to tell.
They're competent for sure.
I genuinely enjoyed watching all 5 of these commercials. I would recommend Jollibee's on a scale. This deserves a normal, respectable scale.
Yeah, you want to give it our first actual scale?
On a scale of 1 to 10, overall, like, I'd give, like, the best commercial is a 10. Altogether, they get probably a 9 because the last one kind of bogs it down artistically. But, like, these are artistically respectable commercials, done very well, and they make me want to buy their product. They do pretty much everything right.
Yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10, I would have to give it a fast food spaghetti. Fuck your normal scales. Thank you, everyone who sent in commercials to us. And if you have a commercial that you would like us to review, please email us at commercialboyspodcast@gmail.com. We will get to it eventually. And let us know if you want to be anonymous or not. So
So we don't
do this
fucking
again.
morons.
So we don't look like fuckos again. Gabe, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
of course.
You're
anytime.
so welcome.
Anytime you walk up into the attic while we're recording, feel free to join us.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. Bye.
Bye.